Bones found on a remote Pacific island are extremely likely to be those of Amelia Earhart, according to a scientist. Ms. Earhart disappeared on the 2nd of July 1937, along with her navigator Fred Noonan. The two had been flying between Papua New Guinea and Howland Island in the Pacific as part of a round-the-world flight attempt. At the time, Ms. Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, was a celebrity, and her disappearance prompted decades of mystery surrounding her fate. 3 years after she vanished, 13 bones were found on Nikumaroro, also known as Gardner Island, a coral atoll some 1,200 miles from the Marshall Islands. Image: Amelia Earhart, seen in 1932 during a visit to Brussels, was a celebrity in her time. The bones were initially studied in 1941 by Dr. David Hoodless, from the Central Medical School in Fiji. He examined the ratio of the femur's circumference to length, the angle of the femur and pelvis, and the subpubic angle, which is formed between two pelvis bones and is wider in women than in men. The bones could not be Ms. Earhart's, he concluded. They belonged to a man. But Richard Jantz, an emeritus anthropology professor at the University of Tennessee, argues that, had Dr. Hoodless been able to use more modern scientific techniques, he might have got a different result. Image: Amelia Earhart flying a Lockheed Electra over the Golden Gate in March 1937. In a study published in the journal Forensic Anthropology, Dr. Jantz said Dr. Hoodless's methods were inadequate to his task. This is particularly the case with his sexing method. The most reliable of Dr. Hoodless's criteria was his examination of the subpubic angle, Dr. Jantz said. However, that is still subject to considerable variation, much of which was little understood in 1941, he added. The Nikumaroro bones had long since been lost, but Mr. Jantz studied the pilot in photos, examined her clothing measurements, and compared Mr. Hoodless's measurements to data from 2,776 other people. He said, Earhart is more similar to the Nikumaroro bones than 99% of individuals in a large reference sample. This strongly supports the conclusion that the Nikumaroro bones belonged to Amelia Earhart. Image: Amelia Earhart with her navigator, Captain Fred Noonan. In June 1937, Dr. Hoodless had described the bones as those of a male around 5 feet 5½ inches, but Noonan was 6 feet 1/4 of an inch. Ms. Earhart's pilot's license recorded her height as 5 feet 8 inches, and her driver's license said 5 feet 7 inches. Some think Ms. Earhart died as a castaway after landing her plane on Nikumaroro, while others suggest she died on the Marshall Islands.